You are not making as much money as you think you're making. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with shadowanyone.com and the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, which is premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. Boy, the been there, done that pays off today. The money that you think you're making as a private investigator is actually way less, most likely way less than what you actually think you're making. Now, if you're a real world, everyday PI, then you know it can be tight, it can be tough anyways, trying to get the clients, get the money. But here's what happens, and especially starting out. So if you're kind of doing the math, trying to figure out how many clients do I need, how much money do I need, take this into consideration. Here's the thing I'm talking about. You'll figure out, okay, I can do this and this and this, and if I get this many clients, or if I pick up this many HR, human resources departments doing background checks, if I do this much work, I'm going to end up coming out with a profit of $100 a day. Now here's where the problem comes. You think I'm making $100 a day in profit. You're missing some things, and one of the big things you're missing, especially if you're just starting out and figuring, okay, I can squeak by. Here's what you're missing: self-employment tax, which is 15.3%, I think, to be precise, but about 15% of the money you make immediately off the top is going to go to self-employment tax. Now, when you work a job for somebody, you know they take out Social Security and FISCA and all these kind of little things. You see them disappear from your paycheck. You say to yourself, well, that's not 15%. It may be a pretty big chunk. And it is. It's about 7%. It's about half of that. And the reason is your employer is picking up the other 7% or whatever for that total of about 15%. When your employer's paying half of it and you're paying half of it, you've kind of adjusted to it. You know, I'm not really making $12 an hour. After taxes, I'm only bringing home, say, whatever it might be, $10 an hour, or $9.50 an hour. So, but here's the problem when you run your own business: is you think you're making $15. You think you've made $100 profit today. $15 of that, 15% off the top, goes to self-employment tax. Immediately, you're down to $85 a day. That's a pretty big cut. And if you're just doing the math and trying to figure out what it takes, the minimum viable income to make this thing go so that you could do this full time, if you miss that 15%, you're missing huge. And that's not the only place you're going to lose money, because then you're left with $85 a day and you're going to pay income tax on top of that. So maybe in the 85, if you're only in a 10% tax bracket, then you're losing another $850 a day. So here you are, now you're earning some $70-some a day, and you thought you were earning $100 a day. Huge difference. Don't miss it. I touch on this briefly in the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Process Serving, because that's one of those places where you can kind of more quickly than maybe just straight PI work find yourself turning a profit. You know, you get a law firm, 2, 3. It's not that difficult. It takes a little time, takes a little bit of work, but when you're working process serving, all of a sudden you find the money is coming in pretty regular, because they hire you over and over again. You only had to do the sales job once. Now you got a client and you start to get this repeat business and the money starts to come in. If you're not ready for that 15% self-employment tax, it really changes the math and you will be caught off guard. And I teach about that in the course itself, but I really want to get that out there to anybody who's just now looking or thinking or trying to figure out, can I make this work or not? Don't miss that. It's so important. If you'd like some other information about being a private investigator, over at shadowanyone.com, I do have a totally free report, and it's called "If You Want to Be a Private Investigator, Give Up Unless You Do These 3 Things." That's on the homepage of shadowanyone.com. Grab it. There's a lot more in there than what I initially intended to share, but it's good stuff. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with shadowanyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.